Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. You may see some cameo appearances by my dogs. Gussie is the orange and white, Sunny is the white, or maybe my cat too. So get ready for that. This will be a gentle practice, bringing in some water elements. So it'll be a little flowy, a little fluid, and we'll bring in some focus to the knees, the sacrum, and the hips. So I invite you to begin your practice either finding a comfortable seat or bring yourself down onto your back and into a little Shavasana. So wherever you decide to start your practice today, please do what feels right for you, what feels good for you today. So get comfortable, close your eyes, and allow yourself to settle in, to draw your attention inward. Take this next 30 minutes for you. Let go of the rest of the world for now. Just be here with yourself, body, mind, breath, and spirit. And I invite you to bring in the intention to move through your practice today with gentleness, kindness, patience, compassion, and love for yourself. Honor where you are today. Don't push. Allow. Begin to check in. How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? What does your energy feel like today? Allow yourself to relax, soften, and let go. Relax through your feet, your legs, your hips and pelvis. Relax through your buttocks and belly, through your low back, mid back, and upper back. Relax through your rib cage and your chest, your collarbones, your shoulders and your arms, your hands and your fingers. Relax your neck, your throat. If you like, you could rock the head from side to side. And bring your head back to center. Relax your jaw. Allow the hinge of your jaw to soften. Relax your tongue, the roof of your mouth, your soft palate. Relax your cheekbones and your temples, your forehead and your scalp. Relax it open through the crown of your head. Begin to let your mind relax and draw your attention to your breath. Just checking in to notice the natural ebb and flow of your breath. And now take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out of your mouth. Another deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out of your mouth. And one more clearing breath, just like this, in through your nose and sigh it out of your mouth. Come back to your natural breath. If you are not on your back, then slowly find your way onto your back, and you can keep your eyes closed here or Just softly open the eyes. Extend down through your legs and reach your arms up overhead. Reaching up through your fingers and down through your toes. Reach up through right fingers, down through right toes, and then up through left fingers, down through left toes, and reach it all out again. And let everything relax. Bend your knees. Plant your feet down on the mat about hip width distance. You can bring hands to the belly or just release the arms out to the sides, and we'll begin to move through some pelvic rocking here. So gentle, subtle movements. As you inhale, begin to gently tip the tailbone down towards the mat. The low back will begin to lift. Back of the heart will begin to lift. And then as you exhale, switch the direction. Now begin to tilt your tailbone up and feel the sacrum and the low back begin to press down. And then begin to rock your pelvis back and forth. Inhaling as you tilt the tail down. Feel that lift through the back. As you exhale, tilt the tailbone up. Press that low back down. Just let the head do what it wants to do and check in and notice what's happening with the head and the neck as you roll your pelvis back and forth. And now come back to your starting point with the neutral spine. Take your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat. Drop both knees over towards your right side. And then pick your knees up and drop the knees over towards the left side. And begin to windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And as you drop your knees over to the right, you roll to the pinky toe side of that right foot and the inner edge of that left foot. And as you bring the knees back through center and over towards the left, roll onto the pinky toe side of that left foot, inner edge of that right foot. And you find whatever pace feels good. If you like, you can let the head get involved. Maybe rock your head in the opposite direction from the knees. And then bring your knees back up. Now walk your feet in. Bring the inner edges of your feet together. Begin to open your knees out to the side. Bring the soles of your feet together. So knees come wide. Just pause here. Feeling a nice opening, spaciousness through the groins, the inner thighs. And then we'll pull the knees up, bring the knees back together. As you do that, you can drop your feet down to the mat and begin to open and close the legs. So as you open the knees out to the side, soles of the feet will come back together. And then as you pull the knees back up to center, the feet will drop back down towards the floor. Bringing in a little bit of resistance here as you open and close the legs. So you can imagine that your hands are gently pressing against the knees or the thighs as you open them, and bring the hands, or imagine the hands are pressing against the inside of the knees or thighs as you close the knees and bring them back together. And then bring your knees back together. Step the feet back so they are about hip width distance or sitting bone distance. Grab one of your blocks. Tuck the block in between your inner thighs. And turn the palms down towards the mat. Bring the arms alongside your body. Gently hug that block in with the thighs. Press down into your feet. Begin to lift your hips and your sacrum up off of the mat to whatever degree feels okay for you. And then slowly lower the hips and the sacrum back down to the mat. Continue with this lifting, lowering of the hips. Gentle hugging in of that block in between the inner thighs. And then lower your sacrum back down to the mat. Remove your block. Draw your knees in towards your chest, knees together, inner legs together, inner edges of your feet together, hands to your knees. Roll your knees around in some circles. And then switch the direction of your circles. Bring your knees back to center. Take the hands to the back of your thighs. Pull the thighs in towards your chest. Bend your knees. Send your feet up towards the ceiling. Flex the ankles. Imagine that you're planting your feet right up on the ceiling. And then hug those thighs in towards the chest. Keep your sacrum dropping down towards the mat. And then stay just like this. Or if it is accessible, available to you, you can reach your hands up for your feet, outer edges, the heels, calves, shins, and then gently pull down. And stay right here. Or if you like, rock yourself side to side. And bring yourself to center. Gently pull down on your feet. And then release the feet. Draw the knees back into your chest. Roll yourself over to one side. And press yourself up. And then we'll find our way over onto the hands and knees. Bring it into a child's pose here with the knees wide. So take your knees wide to the outer edges of your mat, big toes coming towards each other behind you. Slowly send your bum back towards your heels. You can lower yourself down to the mat. Maybe release your forehead down to the mat, or make a little pillow with the arms. Stack the arms on top of each other. Release the head down to the mat, or you could bring your arms alongside your feet and your shins. And you can rock your hips from side to side here. And bring yourself back to center. The arms are alongside feet and shins. Bring the hands forward. And then we'll come forward into a table position, keeping the legs as they are. And then send your bum back towards your heels again. Release the forehead down. Slowly lift it back up into your table so your shoulders will come forward over the wrists. And then send your bum back to your heels. Let's do it one more time. Bring it forward, table. And then send your bum back to your heels, coming back through your child's pose again. And then come up into table. Now bring the knees about hip width together. Spread down through your fingers. Shoulders lining up over the wrists, hips up over the knees. Rock yourself from side to side. And then bring yourself to center, and then we'll roll through some cat-cow, rocking the pelvis here. Inhale, lift the tail, soften the belly, draw the heart forward, lift your gaze. Exhale, press into your hands, round up through your back, drop the tailbone down towards the mat, look towards the belly, and then inhale again as you roll through, lifting the tail, softening the belly, heart forward, gaze forward, and then exhale, curl it back in. Couple more rounds. Your cat-cow following your breath. And then bring yourself back into your table. Extend that right leg back behind you, about hip level-ish. Bend that right knee, draw it in towards the nose or the chest or the forehead. Press into your hands, round up through your back. Step or carry this right foot up to the top of your mat. Knee over the ankle, press down into your feet. Zip up through the belly, lift yourself up, take hands to that front thigh, coming into our low lunge. And then hands back down to the mat. Step that right foot back into your table. Extend that left leg back behind you. Bend that left knee. Draw it in towards nose, chest, forehead. Press into your hands, round up through your back. Step or grab and carry the left foot up to the top of your mat. Press into your feet. Lift up through the belly. Lift yourself up, hands to that front thigh. Maybe you lower the hips down just a little bit. And then hands back down to your mat. Come back into your table. You might want your blocks for this next one. So just grab them, have them handy in case. Bring it back into your table. Extend that right leg back behind you. Bend that right knee, round up through your back. And then step or carry that right foot back up, top of your mat, coming back into our low lunge. Press into your feet, lift up, hands to that front thigh. Press into the thigh, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And now we'll take the hands down to the mat inside the right foot. Begin to walk that right foot out towards the right edge of your mat. Turn the toes out at a little bit of an angle. Knee and toes going in the same direction. This is where you may want your blocks. Walk your hands over towards the left side of your mat. Press down into that right foot, down into the hands. You may want to bring your blocks in here. Hands to the blocks. Or you could lower your forearms down to your blocks. And if you like, you could also roll to the pinky toe side of that right foot. Just get a little deeper into the hips, but see what feels okay for you. Again, no force, no pushing, no need to be aggressive. And then slowly Bring yourself back up onto the hands. Walk your hands back into center and walk that right foot back. Step yourself back into your table. We'll do it on the other side. Send that left leg back, bend that left knee, round up through your back, step or carry that left foot up to the top of your mat. Bend the left knee, press down into your feet, lift yourself up, hands come to that front thigh, press down into the thigh. Allow the hips to drop down a little bit, find some opening through the front of that right hip thigh. And now we'll take the hands inside the left foot, walk that left foot over towards that left side of the mat, turn the toes out, knees and toes out, and then walk your hands over towards the right side of your mat. And stay up on your hands here, or use your blocks again underneath your hands, or come down onto your forearms. Also option to roll to the pinky toe side of the left foot here. A few nice deep breaths. And then walk yourself back up. Onto the hands, step that left foot back in and back into your table position. Root down into your finger pads, tuck your toes under here, press into the hands, lift the hips up and back into your downward dog. Begin to pedal out your legs here, bend one knee, press the opposite heel towards the mat, walk yourself out, or bend and straighten your knees, or any movement at all that feels good. Just feel into your body, investigate, explore. Bend your knees and crouch yourself down, and then glide your hips up to downward dog. Bend your knees again, crouch down. Glide the hips up to downward dog. One more time, bend your knees, crouch down. This time when you send your hips up, send your right leg up also. Forward three-legged dog. Bend that right knee and point it up towards the ceiling, opening through that right hip. And then re-extend that leg. Release that foot down. Bend your knees, crouch down. Now send the hips up to downward dog. Left leg up also, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, point it up towards the ceiling, keep rooting down into the hands. And then re-extend that left leg up and back, release that foot down. Slowly walk or crawl yourself up to the top of your mat. Let's bring it into a ragdoll forward fold. Lift your belly up off of your thighs, hinge from your hips, and fold yourself in over your legs. Let your head go. Hands can come down to the mat, or you can grab your elbows. You can sway the hips from side to side, sway the arms, shake or nod the head. You have the hands down on the mat. You can bring the hands from side to side as if you're moving your hands through water or sand. And then bring yourself to center, hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come all the way up to stand. Turn and face the long edge of your mat. Step your feet out wide. Soften your knees, turn your right toes up towards the top of your mat. Rock yourself side to side. And then open into a warrior two. Bend that right knee over the ankle, pressing out towards the pinky toe side of your foot. Straighten that left leg. And then straighten that right leg, turn that right foot back in, soften the knees. We'll turn the left toes towards the other end of your mat, rock yourself back and forth, and then open it into a warrior two. Left knee over the ankle, hips lined up over your shoulders, root down into the pinky toe side of that right foot. Hug in and up through the inner legs. Lengthen up through the side body. Reach up through the crown of the head. And then straighten that left leg, turn that foot in. Feet parallel-ish, toes pointing up towards the long end of your mat. Soften your knees. Begin to fold yourself from your hips. Coming into Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands come down to the mat, or you could keep your hands on your hips. Allow your head to drop down again and get heavy. And then take your hands to your hips or come up onto your finger pads. Soften the knees. Begin to lift your torso up. Flat back here. And then soften your knees. Fold yourself back in. Again, bring the torso about halfway up, coming up to a flat back. And then soften your knees and fold it in. One more time, halfway up. Reaching back through the tail and out through the crown. And then soften the knees, fold yourself in. Hands come to your hips. Keep the knees soft, press down into your feet, down through the tail, lift up through the belly, up through the heart, and up you come. Step or hop your feet together. Turn back to face top of your mat. Take your arms out to the sides and up. Palms together overhead. Soften your knees. Pull your hips back. Fold in to ragdoll, forward fold. Bend your knees. Get your hands down onto the mat. Step back into your downward dog. Lower knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Drop over to one hip and swing your legs around. Now grab a block or bolster or couch cushion or pillow or a couple of blankets or towels or whatever you have handy. And have it nearby. We'll come down onto our back and then move into a supported bridge. And we'll tuck the block underneath the hips and the sacrum. So slowly find your way down. Bend your knees, walk your feet in, heels a little bit closer to the hips. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, tuck the block underneath your sacrum, back of the hips. And I'm putting the block on the low wide height for some support here. You could put the block on whatever height feels good for you, but I recommend starting with it on the low wide height for now. So lower your sacrum down onto the block and then pick your knees up, knees lined up over the hips. And very, very slowly begin to lower your feet down to the mat. Slowly, 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 slowly. And again, pick the knees up, line the knees up over the hips, and then slowly, slowly, slowly lower the feet down to the mat. I'll do it one more time. Lift the knees up. Slowly begin to lower the feet down. And then stay here in your supported bridge. You could, if you like, extend the legs down the mat or one leg at a time down the mat. And you can have the arms alongside the body, or if it feels okay, You can reach the arms up overhead. And then walk your feet in if you have the legs extended. Press down into your feet. Lift up your hips. Remove your block. Slowly lower yourself down. Take the feet wide to the outer edges of your mat. Let the knees just knock in towards each other. And if you like, bring hands to rest on your belly. And then lift your knees back up. A couple more times. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And then bring your knees back up. Walk your feet in. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Inner legs together. Hands to the knees. Roll your knees around. A few more little circles. And then knees back to center. Curl yourself up into a little ball. Bring your forehead in towards the knees. Hug in. And then release. Send your legs down the mat. Find your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Grab any support that you like. Blanket underneath the back of your head. Roll up the edge of a blanket or towel. Tuck it underneath the curve of your neck. Could put a blanket or blocks underneath your thighs or your knees. Or you could bend the feet or bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Relax. Let go. Stay here in your Shavasana for as long as you like. Enjoy this time with yourself. Be with yourself. And come back to your intention to be gentle, kind, patient, and compassionate with yourself. Show yourself some love. You're awesome. Thank yourself for showing up for your practice today. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, connect in. Notice how you feel. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then sigh it out of your mouth. Release your hands and slowly roll yourself over to one side. Pause here. And then slowly press yourself up into a seated position. Bring your palms together at your heart. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. May your heart be open to love, compassion, and may you know joy. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today with love and gratitude. Namaste.